I want to address a very interesting question. I probably split this into two parts. I'll just try to make a couple of points. The argument I'm going to talk about is moral, and more specifically where we get our morals from, and whether or not people who have faith do have a point in saying that, you know, when you believe in God or some God, you can take your morals from that belief. And a lot of people of faith would address people of no faith, or even people who are very skeptical, or people who just don't believe in personal gods. They would address them by asking, well, what do you get your morals from? I mean, I get my morals from some scriptures or the belief in God, and how can you get morals from anything else? And it's a very tricky question, and I think it's very difficult to explain to people of faith why this is a very dangerous way to go around the problem of morals. A lot of things have been said, so I cannot address all the points. So I'll just try to emphasize a couple of bits that surround this question. And what I'm uncomfortable with is the strong belief that, in fact, what we get our morals from is from God in some sense. Even people who believe in God, I am sure, do not believe that where they've been close to committing an evil act, it was through a miracle that God intervened and made them do the right thing. So I still think that they're still convinced that it's them who are doing what they're doing. So this makes things very difficult, because how do you prove that it was actually your belief in God that made you do the right thing, if I could claim that you actually modeled your idea of God around your own morals and not vice versa? I'll try to make a quick example from the natural world. I think that where we get our morals from is a very difficult question to answer. But it's too simplistic to say that we get it from God. Why is it so? Well, look around the natural world and look. Most mammals, I would say most animals, in fact, we are among the most evil species, if not the most evil species among our peers. I say, I will exclude like some insects, like, you know, the praying mantis. I mean, I'm not interested in that. But if I look at animals, we're among the worst. I think there is almost no other animal, if any at all, who kills as many as individuals of his own species of humans do. There are some species, a few species that do that very rarely. Some species don't do that ever. They never, even carnivores, some of the carnivorous species don't ever kill animals on their other species, and when they do it's very rare. So in this sense, you either imply that animals get their morals from God, which is kind of, you know, it's a concept, maybe you can develop in that, or in fact it's a very subjective and not supported by evidence claim that you get your morals from God. This is one point. Well, there is the other end of the spectrum. I would agree that humans could be at times the best among their peers. And peers, I mean other animals, in the sense that we can do extremely altruistic, very good. Philanthropy is, you know, it's a great thing for humans. So we kind of seem to go to the two ends of the spectrum. So where do we get our morals from? It's so difficult. How much of that comes from our biology, our evolutionary genetics? Well, I shouldn't even talk to people who don't believe in evolution, but anyway, whatever. We do have, even if you don't believe in evolution, we do have a biology. You know, we have a code, genetic code. We cannot escape that. How much that is social, I'm not sure. How much we are special, to some extent we must be special because we are so different, even in social behavior. The way we act with other animals and with other humans is different from most species, but still, again, we can find very moral acts within the animal world. So I would urge all Christians or people of all faiths who are convinced that God is the only source of any moral to go and see the March of the Penguins. What is happening there? There is a point in which one of the, it's extremely a situation of extreme cold, and then there is a storm, and a few of these penguins just lose their little ones. In one scene they lose the eggs, but later on they very few of them even lose their own little ones, that just born a few weeks before. Well, at some point one that lost it, she was completely distressed and desperate. After a while, she goes on and she tries to track down another female of the group to steal her little one. What happens next is, I think it's amazing. A group of 5, 6, or 7 of other penguins just surround the mom that is trying to steal the little one to the other one, and then just takes her away from the pack, from the group. It's really the really moral thing that you would expect from human, that you kind of you're sympathetic for the loss, but then you don't allow this mom to steal, just to compensate, to steal a little one from another female of the group. There is no violence in it. They just really surround her and take her away and make sure that the other mom gets her own little one. How do you explain this? Do you agree that it is a moral act? A group moral act? Do you think this is because the penguins believe in God? Do you think because it was a miracle that God intervened? What is it that made those animals to act in such a moral way for our standards as they did? And in the next video I'm going to talk about another issue there, but let me just say, I don't want to get in any confrontation. This is not about who's right, who's wrong, who has the better morals. I just believe that if we don't come to an agreement that there's something that transcends the beliefs of other people, something that doesn't depend on which God you believe in or whether you believe in God, that we can actually get along with each other and develop a superior moral code by which we can all agree, and we can get along with everyone just by realizing the existence of this moral that can be shared, whatever the beliefs, that can be shared by all human beings. If we cannot do that, I believe we are not going to be a mature species. We are not as mature as we should be for the power that we have in our hands.